inactivated vaccine given IM, 3 doses, first age 11 to 12 years old, second dose 2 months after first dose, third dose 6 months after the first dose. Contraindications, just hypersensitivity to yeast, and pregnancy wasn't studied. So,
correct.
Adverse reactions, pain, swelling at injection site, same. I couldn't find any other adverse reactions.
Realistically, that's probably it. However, the FDA has slapped the label on this one that it causes fainting. And it doesn't really, I don't think, causes fainting. I think it's because you keep sticking needles in the arms of teenagers. Consequently, when they come in for dose number 3, you start to get that learned helplessness, and so they pass out. It's kind of like the dog they do in the learned helplessness studies when you take your first psychology class in college. They tell you about the dog where they would take them and they would put him on a plate and electrocute him, and they'd strap him in so he couldn't get away, and eventually in the beginning he'd fight to get away from the plate on the ground, but after you electrocuted him time and time again, he would just sit there and whimper. It was learned helplessness. Well, that's kind of what's happening here. After the 3rd time you poke a teenager in the arm, they pass out. If you did this with tetanus vaccine, 3 times over the course of 6 months, I think the kids would be passing out from that one too. But we only give 1 dose as a teenager, so you don't have a chance to learn helplessness with that one. Not a lot of other side effects. There has been some question of Guillain-Barré syndrome. That's never been proven, and that link's never really held up. Definitely an important vaccine, though, because it prevents upwards of 90% of cervical cancer. And since that's the #1 gynecologic cause of death worldwide, it's an important one to prevent. If you could prevent, we make a big deal in this country about breast cancer awareness. Cervical cancer awareness is where the real money is. But because we've already got screening tools for that, and because we can do cones and we can do ablations and stuff like that, people in this country don't die from it, which is why, plus it's a little bit ickier to talk about cervical cancer because that's internal and because it's an STD, so we talk about breast cancer instead. But if you really want to save women's lives, this is where the money is. And this completely prevents the disease. All we're trying to do is keep you from dying from breast cancer. We're trying to catch the tumor early, cut it out early. This prevents the tumor. I wish we could do that for breast cancer. We can't. Okay, tell me about Menactra, or meningitis.
2 vaccines available. One is the quadrivalent serogroups, that's the MPS V4, and that's for ages 2 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one is MCV4, which is over 11 years old.
Right. And the MCV4 is the old meningococcal vaccine. It is not conjugated, and it's just like the old Pneumovax. It's just, not real good immune response. You got to keep re-giving it. But we've had it forever. The MCV4 is, the Menactra, which is MC, what is the abbreviation again? I don't know.
MCV4.
No, the other one.
Oh, the MPS V4.
There we go. Is a conjugated vaccine. It uses the same technology as Prevnar and Haemophilus influenza type B. It's a very potent immune response. We believe confers lifelong immunity, although they're starting to question whether you need to give at least 1 booster dose. Side effects and contraindications.
Contraindications,
Guillain-Barré.
Yeah. High risk group. Hold on. High risk group over 2 is for the traveling. Okay, yeah, that's the only
That's
one I
it.
can find.
Yeah, and no real side effects. There again has been a link that people have tried to establish with Guillain-Barré, but it's never been proven. And as long as this vaccine's been on the market, if they haven't been able to pin it down by now, I would be floored if they're able to. Can never predict the future, which is why we always look at these things. And certainly that would alter our practice, but I don't see it happening. Okay? Okay, tell me about influenza.
Okay, when you do it yearly, you have 2 kinds of inactivated vaccine, the TIV, minimum 6 months old, or the attenuated, the LAIV, at least 2 years old. 2 doses for kids younger than 9 who received vaccine for the first time or who were vaccinated for the first time during previous season but received only 1 dose. So the route, TIV is IM, the other one is a nasal spray.
Okay.
Contraindications, allergy to eggs, history of Guillain-Barré, adverse reactions, soreness, redness, swelling, hoarseness.
Okay. And the hoarseness is only
Yeah.
hoarseness is only with the live attenuated. You don't get the hoarseness from the injectable, and you don't get the runny nose or nasal congestion from the injectable, and obviously you don't get soreness or palpable lumps from the nasal spray because you didn't stick something in the leg. So that brings us through the routine schedule as of 2010. Very good job. So again, this brings us through 2010. This is Dr. Kevin M. Windisch from Sparks Pediatric and Adolescent Medicine. Again, if you're interested in rotating with us for a clinical rotation, our phone number is 775-359-7111. If you're a parent and you would like us to see your child to provide these vaccines or to answer questions about vaccines, we're happy to make an appointment. Give us a call.